Congratulations! You picked up your very first pair of wrist wraps. Now you're all set to be lifting big numbers. There is a correct way to put on wrist wraps, and popular brands have tailored themselves to the popular culture surrounding wrist wraps, and that's not necessarily the best. Tough brand wrist wraps have implemented the wrap loop, where you stick your wrap in and you basically just tighten it like that, and it gets tight like this, right? But what you want from a wrist wrap is preventing your wrist from cocking back, because on bench press you want the bar to sit in your hand and you want it to be directly in line with your vector of force coming through your arm. But if you're able to cock your hand back, that vector has to go through your wrist and into the bar that way, and that is not efficient at all. So if you're just slapping on wrist wraps and you're not doing it properly and you're just tightening it around your wrist, the only thing you're doing at that point is constricting the blood flow to your fingers. Now that'll swell your fingers up. There is a correct way to use wrist wrap. Old school wrist wraps used to use thumb loops, but that's kind of gone out of the way for the wrap loops. So we're gonna have to make do with the wraps that we have. Your wrist has a couple areas that are sensitive to bending. So you've got the middle of the wrist, the back of the hand, and the top of the forearm, which will bend backwards under a heavy enough load. Your wrist wraps will give you enough support to prevent that bending and allow yourself to remain consistent and efficient in your pressing. So put your thumb in the loop and tighten it, and then you want to go around over the back of the hand. Try to get as close to your pinky as possible and go diagonally downwards under your thumb. After that, you want to go straight across. You go tight, straight across, and you've hit the joint of the wrist. Your next turn, you want to go even lower to hit the top of the forearm, and then you want to go back over the top part of your hand. And then you're done. Now, no wrist wrap is going to completely prevent all that force bringing your hand back, but this does a pretty damn good job. You've got the support in the back of the hand, so you're preventing this motion where the front of your hand cocks forward as your hand cocks back. You're preventing any bend at the wrist, and you're tightening the ligaments so your fingers actually and tighten around the bar, allowing you to activate your triceps a little bit better by tightening the top of the forearm. So again, as high as you can, get the middle, get the top of the forearm, and then get the back of the hand again. And there you go. You got the best support in your wrist possible for performing the bench press. I've benched over 600 pounds multiple times, and this is exactly how I wrap my wrist.